Culturally Clueless.
What's up, people? Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a brand new Culturally Clueless episode. So we have some guests. It's not just me and Maria. You can keep quiet in the comments, okay? So Maria is here, Z is here, and Gazaoui is here. And Maria, you want to say hello to the people?
Yes, hello guys. I brought you new people that can become your favors.
Oh my God, look what she's doing, y'all. Look what she's doing. She's trying to manipulate and gaslight you. Don't fall for it. Do not fall
guys,
for it.
believe me, you're gonna love them. You're gonna say, wow, Maria, what a wonderful idea. Okay. I can't wait to read that in the comments.
But honestly, I can only say she's not lying. She's actually speaking the truth. So, all right. So we have Z here and Gazaoui here. You guys want to introduce yourself? Because it was Women's Independence Day or Human Rights Day or whatever. Z, why don't you go first? We just pretend like we care.
It's every day is Women's Day. Hello, everybody. Hello, people. My name is Z, DGWA. You can find me on any channel on. Oh, I'm sorry, Wasawi. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You can go after. It's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, sorry. It's go ahead, please. It's cutting in and out for me. Go ahead.
So Z is here from the craziest state in the USA, and I have to ask you: is it true that the craziest people come from Florida and south of the Bronx?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am. I'm here in the capital of Israel, aka Florida, and we hate it here. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that is right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I have to say this. So before I met you, Maria said something, and when I met you, I understood what she said. She told me, "You and Z are both Moroccans, but you're so different."
I know.
We are, right?
Yes, we are. You have patience, and I don't. Mm-hmm.
No. Impatience is my second name. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm claiming impatient. Go find your own. This is mine.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm just very outspoken, and I guess since the first day of my life that I started using my brain, I've been fighting for, injustice and oppression against anybody. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
And the way that maybe I'm a little bit loud, which I do not care, because I'm not here about your feelings. I'm here to spread the word. But yeah, maybe that might be making me different, because we know in our culture it's not, you don't see too often women speaking up, right? So if you wanna, because we're not living in Morocco.
Well,
most of us that speaking up is because we are not in Morocco.
Oh,
right?
You need to come meet my family in Morocco then.
Well, that's what I experienced. You know what I mean? Like, I I grew up around that, and I don't see, even though they're not accepting and agreeing with stuff, they're not speaking up. And that's something that with me, I don't care. I have bail money. I said what I said.
Period. Okay, and Gazaoui is here. Obviously, your name gives it away. You are from Gaza.
Yeah, so I'm second generation in the US. I mean, we've had a few generations now, like going back before the 1920s. But yeah, second generation in the US. My dad grew up in Gaza, and then he lived in Kuwait, and he went back and forth until the Gulf War. And currently, I still have most of my family in North Gaza. We're from the Showa family, which is one of the larger families there. And throughout this war, throughout this genocide, we've lost around 1,000 family members, including relatives and close family.
Look at that, guys. Look at that. So we can say genocide here. All right. So we always start with Maria's question. Maria has sometimes some questions. Sometimes I'm scared. So Maria, do we have to be scared this time?
I don't know if it's scared, but it could be a little controversial.
You can't say that to my son.
You can't say. Mm-hmm. You can't say that one to my son, okay?
Okay, bye-bye. No! No, call the cops right now! Call the cops right now!
So in the last week, I saw a news about a father that showed up on his son's school because he was being bullied. So the school didn't do much. So he wanted to take matters on his own hands. So he confronted the bully, and because the bully was very dismissing, disrespectful, this little girl tried to bully the kid in front of the father. So the father, the way that he reacts, like a smack that
As he
13-year-old
should.
in the face.
He should. He should. Give it up for the dad. Yes, ma'am. I am the dad too. I will fight kids, grandmas, grandpas, pets, anything for my children. Yeah. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Before my mama cry, your mama gonna cry. That is correct. I'm sorry, Maria. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, actually, that was the question. Like, how far is too far? You think that was far, or is it right? Especially
That
when
wasn't even
the school is not
close.
doing.
That wasn't even close because the next person will be the teacher and then the principal, ma'am. Okay? Because my baby is not gonna, I'm not gonna allow my baby to even get to the point for him to kill himself only because he wasn't listened to when he reported the bullying coming to him when I trusted you, the school, to protect my child. Okay, so I will do anything possible for the mental health of my son not get too fucked up. And if that includes use the violence, I will do it anytime. Yes, ma'am. And I don't care that kid wasn't young enough for him to keep bullying and be disrespectful like that against adults. Better yet, to my children, right? So it is what it is. He just got the whooping that he should have gotten at home. And if nobody did it, go ahead, Dad. Do what you had to do.
But it's a girl. Would that make a difference?
It doesn't matter. We don't discriminate, boo.
But
It
is it a
doesn't matter.
difference that the dad, a man, hit the girl?
Ma'am, the girl did not behave the way she's supposed to be behaving
This is not
because
even a
it
laughing
came from
matter.
the home. Those parents did not do what they were supposed to do to raise that little girl correctly. So she believes in her head that she's allowed to do whatever the hell she wants to do. Well, fuck around and find out. It's no discrimination, boy or girl. That's my
Gazaoui.
opinion.
And it's happened around the world because the same situation, one of the same similar, happened in Australia when a mother had to show up in the classroom and confront the bully because the school is not doing nothing. And basically she said, I prefer come here and get in trouble that my daughter end up
That
killing herself because it
exactly.
happened how the kids uh kids kill themselves because this bully is too much. That the truly evil is online in the school. So I would say yes, like she said, like I say, had to do it. I'm sorry, but
On the serious note, me personally, and I already experienced that, okay? I already make a principal to lose her job. I already, they already know me on Prudential Drive. Yes, I'm from Jacksonville. I do not care. I'm not hiring. Okay. But the thing is, I will go straight to the adults first. I will not go to the child. Because if he's the same age as my son, that means the problem is the adults. So I will try to handle it at the school like I did multiple times. Now, when I notice that you don't listen to me, I will find you in the parking lot, bitch. Now, if I can do that, I will go above your head. That means I will go to the superintendent and let them know. If I had to call the news channels, I will also do that because I don't have no shame at all. But now, if the kid coming sideways, like it happened to my daughter when she was little with the two little girls, the two sisters that were hating on my daughter so bad that my daughter was scared to death to go to school. Then I will grab your grandma in the parking lot like I did and get escorted out by the police. And I'm very proud about it, okay? because I had to do it. Yes, I did. I sure did. Because these little two mother flowers was putting my daughter on a situation that she was scared for her life to go to school. And it took me a whole weekend to figure it out. Because the problem with our children, that the things that they get told, they're taking so much into consideration that it's really hard for them to open up. And it took me a whole weekend while my daughter crying, she don't want to go to school. And it was these two little sisters that they were hating on her because of the beautiful hair my daughter has. Hello, we Moroccans. But anyway, and so what I did, I show up the first thing in the morning on Monday. And I grabbed the little girls by the ear. And come over here. Who's bringing you to school? My grandma. Your grandma? So let's gonna wait for her in the parking lot. I did what I supposed to do. They called police on me. Okay, because I'm the aggressive. No, I'm not the aggressive. What happened was that the way they're raising these children, there is no respect for nobody. Why I had to show no respect for anybody anyway. I'm gonna take it for my daughter. You know what I mean? But the school is the first to get the blame, though. So then I went and I had to do what I had to do, and she got suspended. The principal got suspended. Yes, ma'am. You gonna learn too. That's what we need to do as parents.
Gazaoui, you can speak whenever. We don't have here the.
No, I'm listening because I'm like I got bullied when I was younger too because I grew up in post 9/11 and
Oh.
like I would go and pray and stuff since I was like in the 4th grade and stuff. So like different kids to cause different issues. But it's reminded me too, like, so when I was in the 6th grade, I remember that there was one guy, he was like throwing like a bouncy ball back and forth and he hit me with it. And before he hit me, he was throwing it at other kids. He was like an older kid. He was like high school age and he was in the middle school, but he was sitting there and just being an idiot. And he hits me with it. And I swear, if he was going to hit me with that ball, I was going to stick it in my pocket and not give it back to him because everybody else would give it back to him each time. So he came up to me and I ended up sticking a pencil through his hand. Security came and they asked what happened. And I told them, well, he went and he was the aggressor. He came to go and take this ball after he hit me with it. And a pencil went through his hand. That's the story I told. And they ended up suspending the kid and stuff. But other times like that where, let's say the school didn't get involved and didn't realize, okay, this is the person that was the aggressor. This is the one that was like inciting things. This is the one who was causing the problems. We would go and show up to their parents' house. And lo and behold, yeah, my dad would go and fight other parents if need be just to go and teach them. Because at the end of the day, it comes back to the parents. They're the ones that are not teaching the kids. Yeah, the school is responsible in that moment in time while the kid's there. But the parents themselves are the ones responsible for raising the kids. So like we say in Arabic, basically, if the person doesn't get raised in the home, then the streets will raise the kid.
Yep. Straight up. Oh man, the pencil through his hand. I know that part. I was never bullied. Maria, were you ever bullied?
No, I don't think I ever. I don't remember. Maybe I blurred it. No.
Okay, no. Okay, so there is a shout out to the Breakfast Club. They always play a game when somebody does something crazy, and it's called Guess What Race It Is. So, what was the race of the dad? Do we know?
Black.
Don't say that.
White.
Yeah, he was a brother.
Was he black? Was he really black? What was the race of the little girl?
I believe they were black.
Oh, both.
Yeah.
Maria? What race?
Let me tell you something, Ness. This is not about race or religion. Okay? This is about having respect and respect people the same way you like to be treated. I'm just saying for whoever is watching this, right? This is not about race. This is not about religion. If you bully my kid, you coming against you bullying the whole family. So fuck around and find out. Simple as that. I'm not gonna look into your religion. I don't care if you even Moroccan. I don't care where you from.
Even worse.
You gonna get it anyway.
You're gonna get it even double.
Exactly. You gonna get it anyway. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's a great segue. Speaking of race, so the Oscars happened. The Oscars must be one of the most boring events. And I don't know, whoever likes to go to the Oscars definitely needs to drink, 10 Red Bulls. I don't drink Red Bull, but apparently it keeps you awake, or 15 coffee. I don't know, because that stuff is dead ass boring. And this Oscars, it was special for some and questionable for others. So we have No Other Land. This is the documentary about Palestine, about a village in Palestine, and that won an Oscar, right? One of those token Oscars that Bisan got last year for her short film, I'm Bisan from Gaza and I'm Still Alive. Now, this year, it's No Other Land. And at least we can say that Bisan's thing was Palestinian 100%. This one here is a collaboration of Israeli directors and Palestinian directors.
Thank you to the Academy for the award. It's such a big honor for the four of us and everybody supported us for this documentary. About 2 months ago, I became a father, and my hope to my daughter that she will not have to live the same life I'm living now, always fearing settlers' violence, home demolitions, and forest spill displacements that my community, Masafir Yatta, is living and facing every day under the Israeli occupation.
You know, the first look, when you take a look at it at first, you think like, wow, that's amazing that they won an Oscar. Mind you, the Oscar is a Zionist event anyways. Now, these people won the Oscar, and then on a second look, you think like, it doesn't really sit well with me because why is it, would they have won the Oscar if it was a full-blown Palestinian production?
Probably not.
Exactly. How do you feel about it as a Palestinian, though?
How that won an Oscar, but all the full-blown Palestinians documentaries on Netflix got removed more than 12 months ago. Somebody explained that to me, though.
They did, yeah. And no, and the film, honestly, I didn't watch it, but I read about it. It came up on the BDS list because not even half, most of the Israelis that were working on the project were genocide deniers. They were denying the genocide that happened in Gaza. They were justifying what happened in Gaza. These are the same people that were going and speaking out. And then the production company that they were working with was a normalization production company that literally just aims at normalizing relations between Palestinians and the occupation.
Exactly.
So it left a very bad taste in my mouth, to say the least.
Yeah, to say the least, exactly that. And I'm not even Palestinian, but I can say, you know, what stood out to me last year when they won the award in Germany at the Berlinale, it was even the speech of Yuval, the Israeli journalist, was way more straightforward. He was actually pointing out the differences of lives that both him and Bassel, the Palestinian. This year, it was more normalizing. I mean, he received a lot of death threats. He received so much backlash. He actually couldn't go home last year immediately because, as much as they claim to be the biggest democracy or the only democracy in the Middle East, they're not, because if you say anything they don't like, obviously it's going to be hell for you. So this year, his speech was way more normalizing. And so if you guys want to check out the BDS list that Gazaoui was referring to, please do your research. Yes, it's amazing that a Palestinian documentary won something, but what price are we paying for this win, so to speak?
Exactly. It's the further on normalization, it's the further on trying to be like, oh yeah, we can get along together, we can totally be together. At the same time, the people that are making the film from the Israeli side are sitting there going, yeah, no, what happened in Gaza was justified. Yeah, they were pro the genocide. They were pro all of these things, but on top of it all too, they're living on somebody else's land, on somebody else's home, and they're a part of the problem at the end of the day. So to go and work with someone like that, I think honestly crosses some lines, especially in our community.
100%. Maria, did you watch it?
It's okay. It's been only exactly a week since it happened, and nobody's talking about it as much as we thought we will. So that means that the whole globe, most people already figured it out that it was all propaganda anyway. So,
but it was it took us a lot because I was very excited to watch it until Gazaoui showed me the BDS explanation, and I was mind blowing. How these people are so sneaky. so sneaky. Like and to the uneducated eyes, this look like an amazing work. But then when you look deeper, it's always the hands of Zionists and trying to manipulate people.
It's also removing
Brainwashed.
Palestinians. It's saying Palestinians are not capable of producing things on their own. It's saying that Palestinians can't do things on their own, that they need the Israelis to go and make a movie. They need the Israelis to go and write a script. They need the Israelis to direct with them. Otherwise, they don't exist.
But and it's more than just they cannot produce a movie. It's just like more, you need us to validate you.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And this is why I said, like, in the first look, it looks amazing. Like, but the second look, you know, and I didn't want to say anything to anyone in the beginning because I'm like, okay, I haven't seen any Palestinians say nothing. Let me just shut up because I don't always want to be negative, Nancy. But when I saw Palestinians finally started talking about it, I'm like, okay, green light.
I mean, I was
No,
feeling
and
some
part
type
of
of
it
way
was
too. I'm sorry, Gazaoui. I was feeling some type of way about the speech, though. It switched real quick about October 7.
Yeah.
Why you mention October 7? Why you mention that they have the rights to defend themselves?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? When it was the part of the rat, oh, I'm sorry, your rat means Sayo. So when it was the part of the rat to talk about, give the speech, he did make sure that he mentioned October 7, that he mentioned the hostages, right? So that right there, I was like, what? What is he doing? You know, that they try to push the narrative about the two-state solution so hard that that's what they did.
Well, to
Because
be
I can
honest,
guarantee you, if it was a full-blown Palestinian everything, it will not even make it, you know. It will be completely shut it down a long time ago.
oh yeah. To be honest, I don't know, but I just felt like his speech changed so much from last year, and it's very clear that there are different people dictating to him what he can and cannot say. But what do you guys think about this alleged, and I say alleged because we don't have no proof, I don't know, we don't want to put any false information, but it seems like that there was a lip reader expert, and they said because Samuel Jackson presented the award, which I found very powerful in itself, but apparently him and Selena Gomez, the little, I don't know what, were very vocal in their own way about them being too political and all of that stuff. It's a political documentary, so whatever they say will be political. I don't understand.
I don't understand how being against genocide is political. It should be a humanitarian issue, no question asked.
absolutely.
And it comes from the same man that he was on the Super Bowl talking about Black American rights. The same man that was on the Super Bowl with Kendrick talking about the slavery and, you know, the promises of the 40 acres and a mule. Is the same man that is still with the mindset like 99% of Americans. That's why we don't have no fucking unity in this fucking country among blacks and browns, that he do not, he still believe if it don't happen to me, in my business. You understand? That's the problem. That's the mentality of people in here. And it's not about happening just to you. The genocide, if they're coming from us, you will be next. And they already proving that with the immigration and the ICE and all that BS. White supremacy is white supremacy. It's no tiny, it's no yellow, brown, or black included. And that's the problem that Black African Americans need to understand. When we activists, when we fight against injustice and oppression, we including you too. You understand? We include the indigenous too. We including the Spanish too. Because we are not the white race that they try to implement from the centuries and centuries all across the globe. So when that man start talking, a man that is a millionaire and he didn't give a fuck, he hasn't done nothing for his own community, talking about, oh, it's too political. We don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck about Mr. Samuel L. Jackson, that he's already 235 years old, and he never give a fuck. He will never give a fuck. Who knows? Maybe he a Zionist too. You know what I mean? That's my personal
I mean, I don't
opinion.
know. We this is all alleged, and then we cannot exclude Selena, who took down her comments and who is apparently a genocide survivor. But
Selena Gomez, another Spanish person marrying a Zionist. Make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense.
but she had the whole breakdown about migration and her people being.
Exactly. Oh, now you're affecting you, Selena? Now affects you? Okay.
What you said, Z, about if it ain't affecting you, it's none of your business. This is
They don't care.
unfortunately, yeah.
That's the mentality that I've seen since I've been living in this country for 24 years.
No, but this
And
is
it's true.
Yeah, and it's more than true. Unfortunately, it's not just in the US, it's around the world.
It's around the globe. That's why we all fucked up. That's why people don't want to realize that we, the people, are the only ones that can free the people. The government don't need us. We need them. They need us. We don't need the motherfuckers. Just because you rich, you need to always remember where the fuck you coming from. Even if you was, feed on a silver spoon. Where your parents came from, Selena. I'm sorry. See? I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Okay. So, so much to that, and we're gonna stay in this Zionist. What do you call it? Hollywood. We're gonna talk about Angie Stone, the legend. I don't know if you guys are familiar with who she is, or was, I should say, at this point.
Chance for me to escape from all I've known, holding back the tears, yeah, 'cause nothing here is wrong.
So it's one of many artists that lost their life speaking up against the industry. She was 63, and she was finally coming to terms and speaking up against the situation that Universal Records, the record company she was signed to, and a bunch of other people, she called out Dr. Dre, she called out a bunch of other people who sampled her music, and they were not basically paying her money. And she said that she's coming for her money. How uncanny is that? One day later, she dies in a car crash. Now,
She was fighting for her royalties for years.
Yes, but she finally spoke up, like on social media, like publicly. It actually, maybe she did before, but this time it went bigger. It went more viral, and people paid more attention. And she's not the first, and she was not going to be the last. Like all of these artists from the past, they've been, I don't know no other word, but they've been messed with too much, And there are so many people who never
taken advantage of.
Exactly, that is the right word. And then they get all these problems, like they fall into the drug problems and all kind of problems that they have, like addiction and everything. But so Angie Stone was one of them, and this is the same way. Like everybody in this industry dies either through a car crash, or they surprisingly all jump from a hotel window, or they.
No, ma'am. Let's not forget everybody that dying for a fucking pneumonia. Everybody that has fought with P. Diddy. Everybody that has spoke up. All the rappers don't die between the ages of 50 to 60. All of them that spoke up since the 1900s. Because I'm from the 1900s, and I've been saying since 1999 when I started picking game on this mother flower, all of them has died of pneumonia, and it was never no investigations. And we're talking about big rappers. The only one that's still alive that's still speaking up is Mace. Ain't nobody's touching that man, but he is still speaking up. So same happened to Angie Stone. You understand? She's been fighting for her royalties. She's not getting paid. And out of the blue, she had a car accident. And nobody's going to investigate because that will be on the news for the next couple of weeks. But then it will be another distraction for people to stop talking about it. You know what I mean? It's too much injustice in this country. Is the rich against the poor always be like that? It's power. There is no respect in here. It's all about power.
Honestly, every time a year starts, and this sounds very weird, but I always think like, okay, which celebrity is gonna die first this year? And I don't know why. I never would have thought of Angie Stone, and I never would have thought that Angie Stone would be a problem to anyone. And I mean, I know who she is. I know her music. I never was like a fan or anything, but to me, it was important to mention this because this is, again, Hollywood is a Zionist entity, has always been, and hopefully at some point might not be, I don't know. But it's just crazy how they eliminate people as and when they want. So how can we have any other expectation for any other lives? Because and I say this again, Maria and I had that conversation a few days ago. A lot of these artists are more worth dead than alive.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jackson.
And they don't expect their kids to come after it or anything, or their family members to go and pursue those royalties, because they have a right to it too. It's part of their inheritance at the end of the day. But they're going to go and push it out. There's always those loopholes, and a lot of them actually sign into those record contracts that the company owns it after their death, so that the families don't have anything to take out of it.
Very true. And that is very true. It is their inheritance. They have every right to do so. Maria, you wanted to say something?
No, when you say that celebrities were more dead than alive, I don't want to sound like conspiracy, but that's why maybe they die so young, most of them. It's so suddenly, so surprising.
Well,
And then,
I mean, I don't understand how people. I grew up in the hip hop. You understand? And if you look into the hip hop legacy, they always die between the ages of 52 to 59. All of them dying around the same age. We just lost another one just 3 weeks ago, Gotti. I mean, like, it's just too much, girl.
yeah.
Yeah, but if nobody's looking into, right? As long as it make headlines and you know, more people talk about it or whatever, after a couple of weeks, it's like nothing happened. So just thinking we, the regular people, you understand? We know how it's managing, but unfortunately, it's not all in this country. It's all over the place.
I mean, I don't know. The hip hop industry is definitely a money making machine. Hip hop, rap, all of that became pop culture in the sense of mainstream, and that's it. I mean, that's why I don't know, like a little bit like different topic, but this whole Kendrick and Drake beef. Not that I followed it too much, but it feels so good that Drake was finally pushed off the throne. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
I mean, let's not forget Kendrick's a lyricist at the end of the day. Drake's just a pop singer.
Drake is just petty.
Singer.
How about that? He's just petty. All right. Well, moving from social media to social media. So, Casey Anthony, I had no idea Maria brought this case to me. So, Maria, you want to elaborate who this is, what she done?
Just to clarify, she's still here in Orlando, okay? She's still here in Orlando. She wanna claim she's in Tennessee. That's not true. I told her multiple times since back in the days, I can meet you in a parking lot at Walmart or Dollar Tree at any time. I say what I said, okay? That bitch is still over here in Florida. That bitch is still looking for clout and make a couple of dollars.
What do you mean
okay?
you told her?
That what happened? Not told her. I wish. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, I've been part of, you know, searching of kids missing in Florida before. Yes, back in my days. And I always wish to get in my car and go all the way to Orlando, but I know me. I know how I react. I know I didn't have the bail money, okay? But what I can tell you, that she's guilty, because I would like someone to explain to me the question I asked since day one. If she didn't do it, how come? How come no one, not the beach, not the parents, not the courts, nobody has went and tried to look who did it then? If she didn't do it, why is still not looking for who did it? Because that baby's dead, right? But if you guys look into the documents from the courts, the lawyer fucking biased, okay? He did admit it that she did it. So that's showing you the damn power and the white race, what it can do to us. Okay? Because I can guarantee you, if Casey Anthony was Maria Lopez or Shaniqua Smith, it would have been a completely different, I'm sorry, or Fatima Hayati, it would have been a completely different outcome. You understand what I mean? So let's gonna be honest, that bitch is guilty. Okay? And all she's trying to do right now is make a couple of dollars.
My name is Casey Anthony.
Not a single one of us want to hear from you. I don't know how you got here, but you need to be up out of here by 5 o'clock.
This beautiful little girl is Kaylee Anthony. She was 2 years old when her life was taken from her.
According to the prosecutor, according to the evidence, they believed that Casey had used chloroform to knock her baby out and then duct taped her nose and her mouth.
Casey has now joined TikTok to try to reinvent her image.
Yes, our justice system did fail this sweet little girl because Casey Anthony should be behind bars.
While her body was sitting there in the woods by herself in a bag, this was her mother. You were out getting tattoos while she was missing. You were out partying while she was missing. You're out partying now.
30 days. Her daughter was missing and not a sign of remorse on her face while she was out partying with different...
Let's rewind a little bit. Maria, what happened? Tell the viewers who don't know.
This one, yeah, so this woman...
It's not even laughing. It makes me laugh. I'm going to get slaughtered in the comments.
The parents of this woman report the grandchild missing because they haven't spoke to them in weeks.
Okay.
And Casey was nowhere to be found. I think she was partying, and she said that she left it with the babysitter, but the parents were not able to reach the granddaughter. So
I'm sorry, I had to jump. I'm sorry, because that touched my heart. Okay, this case, I'm so sorry, because it was around the same age my daughter. Okay, this bitch was living with the parents. These people are white people. Okay, that bitch wasn't doing shit. She claims she was working. So every day, this bitch, for more than 30 days, was acting at the house like she was going to work and come from work. Okay, which she wasn't working for more than 3 years. Okay, so the parents, right, because the baby was born still living with the parents, meaning obviously she was a 2-year-old. So the parents, as a grandparents, got attached to the baby. So every day when she has to go, as a parent, we're like, well, you had a baby, you need to be responsible. Find you a babysitter and go to work and provide for your child, even though you're living in our home. So she was acting like she was going to work, dropping the baby to the babysitter and everything, when in fact she wasn't working. So she came back one day with no baby. And she say she dropped it with who? The babysitter. Who it was what? Latina. There you go, the race car in the middle, right? So the thing was, I don't understand, I don't comprehend as a mom, if I see my daughter coming back from work every day with no baby, with not my grandbaby, definitely my ass will be on that car with her the next day or the same day. Let's go to the babysitter and I will watch your baby. You understand? That never happened from 30 days. From 30 days till the mom smell the dad smell the dead body from the trunk of that raggedy ass car that was parked in the front of the house every single day for 30 days while the baby's at the babysitter. That's when the mom makes the call. So when the mom made the call as a mom at the same time, because that's how white people mentality works, they also need to protect the daughter. But at the same time, like, fuck it, that's my grandbaby, she only 2. And that's how all the drama started. The thing I don't understand, since day one, since the first call to the police did not treat this case like if it has been for someone else that is not white. Okay? Because I can guarantee you, if it was that case, they will have found more information about the whereabouts of that child in less than a week. And then what happened, like normal Western media always do, is white people, you understand? Let's gonna make headlines, let's gonna make money out of this, like it happened with the fucking Petito shit. You understand? Like it happened in other cases. You understand? It's always white people. Yeah. Exactly. And that's what happened. But I don't care. The bitch is guilty. Okay? I'm gonna say it. She killed her own baby with the same blanket and the same. This bitch had the baby every time on the trunk of her car for her to go out. She was giving her the shit to fall the baby sleep, to put the baby to sleep. She will put the band-aids as like cross on her mouth. So if she wake up, she won't be able to yell or whatever. And what happens? She fucked up. Maybe she didn't mean to kill her. She just give too much morphine or whatever that she was giving to the baby.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what she did. That's what she did. If everything matched with the same blanket, the same plastic bag, the laundry bag where you put that baby, the same fucking band-aids, how you gonna tell us that she didn't kill that baby, bro?
The question we had more was, should everybody have a platform? Because clearly she came back to social media. She left TikTok by now because I don't know, people didn't.
She didn't left.
No, she didn't. She made a second page. She had 2 pages now.
No. Gen Z went to her and report the account. The account is gone. They took
No,
her
it's
out.
not
They
gone.
kicked her out.
No, it's not gone. That's why Nancy Grace came back to TikTok. It's not gone. The account is still right there.
Oh, wow. Okay, we'll check it out. So, yeah, and she claims she's in the legal field since 2011, which is so hilarious because I don't know how she got away with accusing her dad of, physical abuse, accusing her dad of physically abusing her daughter. It's really insane.
And the
Gazaoui,
brother.
did you? Oh
She
my
have
God.
another baby, and she has another baby. That's the funny part. And CPS did not remove that baby.
But
She
who
had
has
another
a
baby.
baby with that woman? That person is also not normal. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, she had
Gazaoui,
another baby.
did you know about this case?
I did not. This is new to me, to be honest.
Mm.
And from what I'm hearing right now, I'm like, all I can think is this is either complete child neglect, this is complete child abuse that's led to a child's death. And so far, it sounds like she was just locking the kid in the trunk, like Z's saying, like she was locking the kid in the trunk instead of getting a babysitter until the kid probably suffocated in that trunk.
Exactly, and that's exactly what happened. And then she went and and put her in the. Bro, it's so much shit, bro, that like anybody will figure it out, bro. It's just, but the media keep feeding it for them to make profit. That's the shame, bro. When you're doing that against a child, bro, a 2-year-old, bro, that they cannot even defend themselves, bro. That's why the laws in this country makes no sense, bro. Listen, anybody that cannot defend themselves, a child, a kid with disability, anything, any type of abuse, killing, or whatever, it should be automatically the death sentence. We, the taxpayers, should not be paying for that shit. These motherfuckers should not even have the audacity to even breathe once they get caught. You understand what I mean? But for you to make profit out of it, even Nancy Grace, yes, you listen, bitch, you even make profit on your show because you carry on with that case for years, bro, making profit out of the situation because they get paid. They get paid for that bullshit. Then they did a show, a documentary on Netflix, and the parent, all for money, bro. All for money. That should be illegal. Simple as that, bro. And I can guarantee you, once they start doing this, the fucking system, when they start putting the foot down and they start treating those baby cases seriously, I can guarantee you people will be more aware or try to put hands on babies, bro. Because it's too much. It's just too much.
Speaking of
No, like you said,
baby,
if it was a person of...
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Ness.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, if it was a person of color, if the person of color literally yelled at their child, they would have the child taken by CPS literally for verbal abuse. I've seen it happen before, just for a parent yelling at their kid.
Wow.
They've, but because it's not, this is what they get to get away with. They get to go and make money off of the death of a child.
Well, this is the crazy part. In America, no matter what happens to you, you end up can make a full-blown career out of it. You write a book, you make a movie, you make a show, you documentary, you go on every talk show there is, you go on every podcast there is. I don't know. You write articles, you get a column, you can open your own network. I don't know. It's just insane. But speaking of children, so in Sudan, the UNICEF came out and said that there is a lot of physical abuse, especially when it comes to children. And the youngest children that has been touched was or is 1 year old. And in Sudan, we know the situation is very crucial. It's been almost 2 years now, coming up next month. We have so many people displaced and so many people fleeing to Chad or Egypt, even the neighboring countries. And we have also something good, though. The Sudan is taking the UAE to the ICJ for supporting the rapid support forces with weapons. What do you guys think about that?
I agree with it.
I agree with it too, 100%. And I've been told by people that were on the ground between UAE and Sudan that they were selling to both sides and they were profiting off of it.
Yes.
Like this is the thing that I really find disgusting at this point. And like, they literally are in it to make money off of it. So we've seen it in Gaza, we've seen it in Palestine, we've seen it in other places in the world, but people literally profit off of death and suffering.
Yeah. Yeah.
The white race is what's creating. I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. They always gonna try to make sure that we go against each other in order for them to win at the end of the day.
But it's the UAE, Z.
They will.
Well, it's gonna.
Zionists are there too. What?
Z
They're
has a
not
good.
Zionists over there?
No, Z. I was gonna say you have a really good point too, because UAE doesn't manufacture any weapons. So where are they going to be getting the weapons from?
Where the
It's
weapons
from the
came
United
from?
States and from Europe.
No, this is clear. The U.S. is definitely part of it and whatnot, you know, and we know the occupation is part of it. But what I'm saying is the fact that it's supposedly our own people being part of it when they hold all these, you know, heavy laws in their own country. Like you saw, guys, there was recently this woman. She was like all covered up, and she was in a restaurant. She was eating, and she was wearing a veil. So every time she would eat, she would lift the veil to eat. And there were like two girls. They were tourists in Dubai, and they were making fun of her and filming her, and they put it on social media, and then eventually they got arrested, you know. And this is the hypocrisy that I'm talking about. Like you have these type of laws, but then you go out there and have people kill people.
Yes, you're talking about hypocrisy. The UA, with these motherfuckers, after October 7, they're allowed to sell alcohol, and they claim to be the Muslims that we need to follow the Mecca. I mean, are you serious right now? Are we talking about the same? They're allowed to sell alcohol because you're making a lot of profit because of the troubles. I mean, that's the tourists that come.
I was there in 2009. They were selling alcohol way before October 7. They were doing it.
But that's what I mean. But they make it illegal. They make it legal after, right? My point is...
No. They had it legal before. I think you're mixing it up with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is the one that recently legalized it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're right.
Yeah. It's
It's rats. Once a rat, you are a rat. Okay?
Absolutely.
That's it.
And, you know, speaking of rats, it's Ramadan. And when it's Ramadan, unfortunately, for the past years, when it comes to the West Bank, to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, people are not being left alone to go pray and worship. So the Israeli police stormed the Al-Aqsa Yard on Thursday night, and they deployed over 3,000 Israeli police to go and disturb the Friday prayer, which was the first Friday of Ramadan 2025. And 3,000 police, guys. Seriously? We need 3,000 police for a few hundred people?
There's the most moral army.
The only democracy. And we respect other people's religion, and we respect other people's belief. We respect everybody here. Of course. So Maria,
no, they just want to. So part of it is breaking people's spirits at this point.
Yes.
That's the reason they do what they do. Because at the end of the day, they can let people go pray and exist, and they won't bother them. But they can't let that happen. It's the same reason they destroyed all the mosques, or most of the mosques in Gaza. Destroyed all the mosques in North Gaza.
And churches.
And churches. It's to go and break people's spirits and leave them feeling helpless. So that the only thing they're left to turn to is depending on the occupation. But what they forget is so many people, they made the same statement. I know people personally that their grandfather passed away. And this was the beginning of the war. A few months into it, he didn't have enough food. So he kept taking his food and giving it to his grandchildren. And he didn't tell them that he was giving them his portion of food each day. Until after about 2 to 3 months, he passes away. He passed away from it. But it's being self-sufficient and just pushing through, whether they like it or not. My great-grandfather was kicked out by Moshe Dayan from the Israeli prisons because he was told he had multiple life sentences placed on him in the 60s, and then he kicked them out. He told them that you're ruining my prison, because when my great-grandfather got there, he started going and organizing prayers, organizing Quran reading sessions for people to go and memorize the Quran. He went and he started bringing back people's spirits, and that destroyed them. And Moshe Dayan calls him after 6 months to his office, says, "Pack up your stuff and go back." He goes, "What? Aren't I supposed to be here for multiple life sentences? Like I'm never supposed to get out?" He goes, "No, you're leaving now because you ruined my prison." His nickname was the One-Eyed Dajjal because he wore an eye patch.
What did he say? You can leave now because you're ruining my prison?
Yeah, you can get out of here. He kicked him out. He told him you need to leave because you're ruining my prison.
Oh, wow. That's such a powerful statement. Gazawa, you should have shared more. The power
I
of the
have a lot of
faith that they have.
stories. But that's the thing. I'm like, it's not. This is one story. There's millions of stories like this. Everybody that was in Gaza this last year and a half has stories like this, where they sit there and they depend on their faith over everybody else and everything else in the world. That is why you see people saying, Alhamdulillah, thank God for everything at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, there's nobody there but God for us. And that's something that these people don't have.
Yeah, they don't understand that. Because that every Ramadan they expect it and they are waiting for a strong and still. They're not gonna move them. They know that it's coming, but they wait for a strong.
They tried their scare tactic against saying that, the ceasefire is ending on the first day of Ramadan. We're going to end the ceasefire. We're going to go back to bombing again to full comparison. We're going to start doing this and that.
There was never no ceasefire.
No, there was never no ceasefire, but it was a slowdown at least that gave the people a break so they could catch their breaths. And that's what it always has been. We've never had peace in Gaza. There hasn't been a week where we haven't heard a bomb go off. There wasn't a week going by where I didn't hear that children were being imprisoned since I was a kid. There wasn't a week going by where I was hearing children being killed. This is what they do.
Have you ever visited Gaza?
Yeah, last time I was there was in 2006, unfortunately. And this year was the first time that I got to see family members. I hadn't seen some for almost 18 years.
I see. I'm sorry that you're going through this, and I'm sorry that the world is too ignorant to care.
No, like I said, it's something we're kind of used to at this point. This is why we depend on God at the end of the day, because we've always felt like we're doing this on our own. Yeah, it's nice seeing that people are stepping out, people are going to protest, people are bringing awareness to everything. But at the end of the day, we also remind each other too. Has it brought one bottle of water into Gaza? Has it brought any food into Gaza? Has it stopped the bombing? Has it stopped the killing? It may have slowed it down. It may have put some eyes on it. But at the end of the day, it still continued to go on. But the one thing I do have to say is the journalists, after October 7th, they did the most amazing job in documenting and letting the world know what was happening directly from their own eyes, from their own cameras onto the world. And there's a reason that they tried to do the blackout. There's a reason they tried to do these things. And people in Gaza figured out ways around it. Even with most of the cellular towers destroyed, even with the internet connections cut, even with the electricity cut, they figured it out. And I think that's what made the biggest difference compared to past years.
Yeah,
that's how we do care, and like you say, I wish the change was faster and bigger, but it's coming. And not only I do care, my family will care, and my child, my grandchildren, they all will care. Palestine is gonna live forever. It's written.
Of course. And Maria, I don't mean you, and I don't mean people like you, and I don't mean people who like genuinely put all their effort and energy into doing the right thing. I'm talking about the general public that even says that they're pro-Palestinian, but at the end of the day, what we see is just literal words. And like in Arabic, we say haki fadi. They're empty words. They're just words to say it. Like I had somebody from the Kataib come up to me early last year. So the Kataib, if you guys don't know, are the Lebanese fascists that worked with the occupation during the 80s. And they were flying Israeli flags with the Lebanese flag, and it was a whole thing. And they did Sabra and Shatila, and they literally were wiping out Palestinians. They were wiping out Lebanese Muslims. They were going around doing this stuff. So I had one of them approach me last year, and he was an attorney in the US. And he sees me wearing my hatta, my kufi on my neck. And he goes, "Where'd you get that from?" I go, "From Palestine." "Oh, are you Palestinian?" "Yeah." "Oh, well, I hate Palestinians, but I could never support a genocide." That's what his statement was to me. I hate Palestinians, but I could never support a genocide, even though they were committing one during their time period.
At this point, I really have no words, because I feel whatever we say, it's never going to be good enough.
Can I say something?
Of course.
My personal opinion. since I've been involved on that is going to be more than 15 years. All this shit happened because we never have unity among us, the Arabs.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the only problem.
Yeah.
We never had unity. And that's the reason why we allow them to occupy and everything about us. You understand? And the greed is what it took over. We have people on TikTok that they Arabs and they are still going against us. Because it was never unity. And again, the mentality of it didn't happen to me. I don't give a fuck. Well, bitch, you an Arab. You will never be white. You know, so it's gonna happen. So it don't matter. You wanna side with the rats and you wanna become a rat on TikTok to troll us. Don't forget where your roots came from. You know what I mean? Like Gazaoui just said, it's too much talking for almost 2 years. But the good news about all of this, and I want people to understand and think about it, is since the first Antifada and all the genocides, the genocides that they have done in Palestine, that it hasn't been televised, that most people don't know about, because everybody just focused or just opened their eyes on October 7th of 2023. Just so you guys know, this time is no way to go back. It won't be no more. Because I'm giving my hopes to Allah that in 2027, and He's wrote that it won't be no more received. It won't be no more. Because the cancer, the tumor will have to stop sooner or later. And it will happen this time. It's no way to back it up now. It's no way to cover it with one finger like they have done in other genocides. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna be one free Palestine and only one Palestine. Either you wanna stay there on the right side of history or you had to go. Simple as that. Stop using the youth as a cover up for the fucking Zionists to keep occupying the whole world. Because that's what they have done since day one. Since 1946, that's 45 to be exact, that's what they have done. They have used those poor people coming from another genocide in order for them to, insert themselves using the youth to start colonize everything. Because Zionists is not the same that US. It's not. Zionists do not have a religion. And that's what people need to understand. Tune it off your TV and read more. That's what you had to do. Simple as that.
100%. And it's proven again how, everybody, all the Arabs is normalizing. When we look at the Israeli ambassador, he went to an iftar that was done by the UAE in Abu Dhabi, and it was a huge, huge
What a
spread.
shame.
Exactly. And he went there, and this is the normalization. And they even say this is part of the normalization under the Abraham Accords. And this is what they're doing. And this is very interesting as well, because Saudi Arabia keeps saying, if there will be no normalization, there will be no, nothing, if there will not be a Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. But at the same time, Donald Orange Trump chose his first international destination to be Saudi Arabia. Did you guys know that the president of Poland is called Donald Tusk? It's like a mix of Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
It's a weird coincidence.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh, my God. Yes, but on a good note, and I know it doesn't mean much, but we just have to be grateful for brave people. And in London, something happened yesterday, guys. There was this guy who decided to climb up Big Ben. You guys know Big Ben, the big building in the UK. That's part of the Westminster. And this guy climbed up there with a Palestinian flag tied to a stone.
I'm sorry. Stop you keep misspelling. Calling him this guy. Is this hero?
Oh, okay.
Yes. This hero.
All right. My bad.
I'm sorry. I know my English not good, but I know that English, okay? It's called This Hero.
Okay, hero.
That stays up there for 17 hours.
With bleeding feet. with bleeding feet, okay, and he was having snacks apparently. So he was prepared. That guy was prepared. And what he was saying is basically because somebody from Pali Action was arrested, and Pali Action was arrested prior to that because this is not the first time they do this. But shout out to Pali Action in the UK. They actually single-handedly shut down Albert Systems in the UK, and you know how shameful it is. I really don't want to say it. I never even reported on this or spoke on this because I'm so ashamed. But we have to be honest. They opened up in Morocco, Z. Gilbert System opened up in Morocco. This is like, for those who don't know, is they built the weapons for the occupation to carry out.
First the ports and now this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And not just any weapons. The thing they're using too is they're making new weapons. They go and test on people so they can go and sell them on the market.
Yes.
And Palestine is one of their testing sites.
Always have been. Always have been. So this...
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, y'all, with the respect that you guys deserve. Dear Yemen, if you listening, listen. I know you give 4 days, but listen, if you need to switch a little bit to the left, you can go and, go ahead with Morocco as well, okay? Just don't worry about the Red Sea. You can go ahead. You have all my support, okay? Because let's not forget about Yemen, okay? They give 4 days. Yeah, I had to say it. Thank you. Continue, please.
They shut down this 30 million drone, the US 30 million drone, right? Yep. And
they shut down in Yemen?
Yes, on the Red Sea. The Yemenis did it, and they shut it down. And because they filmed their stuff, so the US had no choice but to admit to it. 30 mil, y'all. That's in case you still don't know where your text
and
money
they
is
have
going.
new handmade pew-pews or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to be a snitch, but yeah, I have my people from Yemen, sending me and sharing with me the new things that they do.
This is all allegedly. She doesn't have any friends in Yemen.
No. Hold on. For a second. So they did do a documentary on Al Jazeera. This was about 15 years ago, before the siege was laid by Saudi Arabia on Yemen. But they manufacture their own stuff in the market.
Thank you.
They're self-sufficient. They take care of themselves. It's like Gaza, but just in Yemen.
Yeah. What happened was they might be the poorest country in the world, but their heart is so rich that they don't give two fucks. Yemen, if you listen, Habibi, listen. You invited for tea every time, okay? Do what you gotta do, okay? And continue doing what you're doing. Because people are watching. We are watching you. We're supporting you, okay? Do what you gotta do. Yeah.
All right. So back to the hero. On the ground. So he did this because somebody was arrested, and so he decided to go up there. I don't know if that was pre-planned, and he wanted to go up there regardless, but he was basically saying while he was up there is no government, there is no nothing, there is no what do you call it? There is no democracy. I'm so sorry. I'm a little bit distracted. Guys, when you think, like, when you do something and you get a message and you read the message and it's not good news, and then all of a sudden you're so distracted. I wish I never opened the message. I swear, I wish I never opened the message. Anyways, so yes. So shout out to this hero in the UK who did this. This was absolutely amazing. Thank you for finally making the news even report on this. And, they had no choice but to report on this. And I have to say the journalists in the UK are finally exposing a lot of the BBC, Guardian, the Time, the Sky News and ITN. They're exposing a lot of these one-sided narrative that is driven by the occupation or the propaganda. And I'm so happy because for me being in media, it's about time that journalists find their way back to the code of journalism because it is our fundamental right. But we have one last topic before we go, and Maria was very adamant about it, and this is a very important topic. We have to talk about Emily Pike. Maria, do you want to?
Yeah, Emily Pike is a 14 years old Native American that disappeared for days, even months, I think. And finally, her body was found dismembered. And we don't know who dismantled.
She's not the only one, excuse me. Is it coming from a house of 30 women that has already disappeared. She's the one that was found this past month. But
Yeah, I
there is
was going to
not-
elaborate if you give me a second. So, Emily Pike is one like last and one other episode. We talk about Gabby Petito. When Gabby Petito, our woman, disappeared, a whole media, the whole country, mobilized to find her and to find out who did this to her. Emily Pike is one of, I think, over thousands of Native Americans that are missing, and no one knows where they are. I wanted to talk about her because no one else is doing it. The media is not doing it. It's so the only the information that we got is for some social media people that take on their hands to investigate.
But Maria,
So
you know what she was? She was in a house, a government house that is keeping more than all of them under 18 years old, and 30 of them has went missing. 30. 30. Okay, that's something that people need to understand. That's why I say stop watching TV and read more about it. She's the one that has been found in February 14, this member, but it was another girl under the age of 18 coming from the same house. And the police has been called for years because it's been the total of 30 women, 30 kids, because they under the age of 18, that they supposed to be in this housing from the government, and nobody's looking for them. So it's not
So
just
a
her.
common practice, and a common practice too in the United States also is that they'll take Native children, Indigenous kids, and they throw them into these group home foster homes, taking them away from their families, saying that
Exactly.
their families are not able to provide for them or however, and they'll go into the reservations and take these children and then go throw them in these group homes and try to go and indoctrinate and assimilate them into their society, make them forget their culture, make them forget their background, make them forget their roots, so that they don't have a claim back to their own tribes or their own land. It's been happening for a long time. So this group home, these boarding schools, is something that dates back even to the 1800s.
That's what I'm saying. That's what they need to investigate first. Not about why she was dropped in the middle of the highway. What happened to the other 30 girls that has been missing too? And it was another one a month before her, but it hasn't been found though. But oh, I forgot, they're not white. They're not white.
Well,
this is systematic, as is easy to see, and because that's what they do. That's what the colonizers do. They go to the targets are the kids, are the women, to erase any trace of the Native American. That's what is happening in Palestine. What is the target? The kids, the women. Why? To try to erase their identity. So it's important for us to talk about this. Not let them forget. Not let them forget who they are.
And not to forget too, our border control and the police forces in the United States train with the ITF. They train with the occupation. But aside from that too, I did back in November and December of 2023. I went to a few universities and I did a few speeches and lectures about how different elements, different tech companies were using the same surveillance equipment they use in the West Bank and in Palestine. They're using the same stuff on the indigenous tribes in the United States. How they're using the same border control methods, or how they're using the same indoctrination methods, how they're doing these same things on both societies. So you can see the same element, the same root of the issue is colonization still, no matter where you and how you cut it.
Honestly, I just feel like this is some, we talked about it, and we also learned about the native struggle and how the natives have been done very dirty by the Americans, the way that America was taken over, and the way that they're still continuously doing very, very similar things that like they're doing in Gaza, like the contaminated water and so on and so forth. And this is the same like they're doing also in Goma in the Congo. Okay, they also the water is contaminated, starvation. There's hardly nothing there, for people, and especially it's Ramadan, and don't we can't get it mistaken. Like most people might not be Muslim in the Congo, but there are still enough Muslims, and they're struggling, especially because it's Ramadan now. And what the natives it's very similar, pretty much, and what they're doing as well. And now we need to make it, how Maria says, a part of what we are actually advocating for. So
yeah, because days pass, weeks pass, months pass, years pass, and people just forget. So this is a reminder to our listeners that this is happening. To please read more about it. Try to dig more information and watch for your community. Watch for your people. We don't have anybody. We need to protect each other. The government won't do it.
And you know what? Being of a home where 30 missing women were never found is a little bit
concerning.
Yeah.
But all of them are Native Americans. All of them under the age of 18, because sex trafficking and organs are very popular in here. And it comes from who? From the rich.
Yes.
From the billionaires. And that's why it's not a good thing to keep investigating. You understand? That's the problem. And talking about the water in Gaza, talking about the water in Sudan. Shit, look how long it's been the ghettos on Flint, Michigan, that they still with contaminated water till today is 2025. Let's gonna look about that. Since you don't want to look outside this country, look inside your country. About the homeless population, about the ghettos, about the children unable to eat just one meal from school, and you try to remove it. It's a lot of injustice going on without having to look outside this country. They do not care. So if we not having unity, we will never get nothing fixed. We will get nothing done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yes, be mindful, guys. And, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's time for us to say goodbye. Thank you, Z. Thank you, Gazaoui, for being here. Maria, thank you so much for being there all the time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. These are the new people. And if you're nice to them in the comment, they might come back.
We'll come around.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so
your
much
time,
for having us, honestly. Thanks for having us, honestly. And I just want to say one last word too. None of us are free until we're all free at the end of the day.
Amen.
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
Exactly.
Ramadan Kareem to everybody that celebrates.
Oh yes, this is actually our first episode. Oh, by the way, we didn't address. So last week we didn't have an episode. It was because of me. I had to travel. I had to do something, and I couldn't be here. It's not Maria's fault. It's nobody's fault but mine. Okay? So guys, thanks for tuning in wherever you're tuning in from. And we see you next week with a brand new episode. Make sure to get engaged in comments like always. Peace out.